Hello, my name is Latanya Woodruff. This is Interpersonal Communications Class 508. This is my communication plans assignment. Today is July 4th. The day is winding down. It is almost 10 o'clock. And I'm just going to go ahead and get right into this presentation. Now, I want to begin with something here that in this field, especially for me, I truly want to be able to help everybody that comes across my path. But I understand that there are times that we may not be able to actually help someone in the way that they want to be helped or that they possibly need to be helped. But that if we can offer our sincere, emotional, heartfelt empathy and support, that may just be enough to help them to become resilient and motivated again so that they can pick themselves up and that they can go ahead and try to come out of whatever is going on. I think that's very important to know that you may not be able to help everyone, but if you give them what you can from your heart, that it could possibly really do what they need emotionally to help them get going again. Now, I grew up relatively like this intellectual person. As a kid, I was intellectual as a kid because I read every driving on the road. I would read every bulletin board, every sign that I seen. When I come home, I would read every magazine, every book that was on the table. When I watched TV, I would look at everything, every phone number, to see what they were talking about. So, just everything about life intrigued me, and I just wanted to know what was going on. And early on, I also knew that I was intrigued by the sense of caring about people. I just cared about people. Like, I didn't like to see people cry. I didn't like to see people upset. I didn't like to see when people would fight. And I just really wanted to see, what was wrong, anything that I could do as a child to help people. So I grew this love of servicing others, this love to service others. And it kind of stuck with me my whole, life. And ever since I was young, I was the one that was always thinking about somebody else, not myself, not what to go do, not where to go, not who to hang out with, but how can I help someone, or what can I do to help myself, even, to try to get myself somewhere where I can be in a better situation. And so I grew that love for reaching out and helping others. And as I matured, I would go to church and I would see things that would be interesting, see how people would act. And sometimes I wonder, well, wow, why are people in the church acting like this? And then as I kept growing up and getting mature, I realized that humans, have issues. They have problems. They have desires. They have wants. They have needs, and a lot of stuff goes into the mind and thinking and making decisions. So I came to the conclusion that people are always going to be here, and people are always going to need help because some people don't make the right decisions. Sometimes people just get a bad rollout of events happening to them and things like that. And so I just started to study humans on my own initially, just by paying attention. And as I kept growing up and maturing, going through my own life struggles as well, having things that I had to learn to understand and to adapt to in life, and to understand that, you make those decisions and those things, this is what happened. And, that would be my personal background. Seeing my family go through things, seeing myself go through things, learning from all of that. Seeing some people being able to make it out of situations, others not so much. But, at the same time, just being there for people means a lot. It just means a lot. It means a lot. And that brings me here today to wanting to be more professional in this type of service, in this field. Want to know how to go about to be able to really comprehend, understand, relate, prepare, words to help people move through situations and consequences, and finding a better solution, and build trust and relationship with people where they feel like, I could depend on her to assist me and to explain things to me and to help me gather, where I am. And that's a little bit about, how I feel about the profession and what really brought me, to this point of wanting to actually get a degree in this field. Now, we did a initial assessment of what is called Uniquely You. My Uniquely You was multifaceted. It was very, very good in the ideas and suggestions about who I am as a person. But the mix was kind of problematic somewhat because you can't be this, enthused, intellectually stimulated person, but you're also very kind. You care about everything. You care about everyone. And it presented to me a mix of you can be a great leader and a great follower, but you're going to run into some problems with situations and people. And that is true. That is something I've already experienced. And I looked at that and I took that and I said, well, how do I change it? How do I change it? And I began to go on through the class, the studies, and begin to identify ways, especially with the Peterson text. The Peterson text is something that I have on my desk here that I will always be able to refer to because those situations come up all the time. That those different situation analysis that the Peterson text highlighted, described, and broke down, they happen so much. And I really appreciate the course and the time that he took out with that text and even being presented with the subject matter in this course to help identify communication barriers. And some of my communication barriers are that actively listening means to do just that. Don't actively listen, and when you're supposed to be actively listening, then you become the talker. And then you become the talker, and it becomes all about you, the talker, and you kind of run over the situation at hand that with the person you're talking to. And so I have learned through the text, through this course, to stay in the role that you're supposed to be in that moment, and don't get out the role in that moment unless you 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 take that option and you present that to now become from the listener to the talker because now it's my turn to talk. And I learned that, and I've also learned to stay focused on the client at all times. This is what it's about. This is how you build trust with people, is by focusing on them, by taking the time out to listen to them and hear everything, take notes on them, and let them know that you're listening, let them know that you're planning, and you're looking into ways that you can assist them. So I've taken all of that and I've just got some goals here that I want to implement here, and I want to become more effective in that uh, listening role. And then, when I'm presented with situations that do, look back at my Uniquely You and say, yeah, you're not good in this area because you care too much for both sides. You just good on that side, and then you're great here, but they need someone who could really narrow things down and identify with them and give them, exactly what they need to hear to help them move forward. So those are some goals. Now, in conclusion, I would like to say that I am a spiritual person, and my faith plays a big part in everything I do, and that I like the Francis and Wyckoff text explains about genuineness. I love that word, and warmth and empathy, and I would just like to end with that. When helping people, if it's not from the heart, what is it? Is it just a job? Is it just something you're doing to get a paycheck? But if you really want to be a human service counselor, you have to be human, you have to service, and you have to be there to counsel, which means listen actively. Thank you.